Welcome to Life at the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. And when I first moved back to Georgia and put Lyric in school, everybody was like, hey, Gina, do you know about Parent to Parent Georgia? And I was like, no, what is that? And they were like, oh, well, you should probably check it out, hit Google, whatever. And then a couple days later, somebody was like, hey, have you heard of Parent to Parent Georgia? A couple months later, somebody asked me again. I said, what is this? So, of course, I looked into it. And you know what? There's a reason people talk about it. They have got more tools and resources and free trainings and different places to go and different help available. And the best part, it's free. So please, welcome to the show with me today, Sitara Nayek, the Vice President of Programs at Parent to Parent Georgia. Hi, Sitara. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about being here.
You know, as I said, when I first moved back to Georgia, everybody was like, Gina, do you know about Parent to Parent? And I was like, what is that? So, of course, I went on and I checked out. You have so many great tools and resources just on your website. Can you please tell me about the Parent to Parent support groups?
Yes. So we are a nonprofit and we serve the entire state of Georgia. So, and then we have one of the things that we do is we call it our Navigator program. And we have support groups all over the state, and anybody can start a support group. We help parents or anybody who is connected to the disability population who is interested in starting a support group. We can help them with that. A couple of ones that we have are, like I said, all across the state, but we have two Spanish-speaking groups, and we have an East African group. One of the Spanish-speaking groups has been in existence, I think, for over 17 years. Those are just three. We have other groups that are English speaking groups too. So.
And that happens so much in the Hispanic community. I just did an episode where another group started something called Mocha Matters, and it's because of that language barrier. So it's so important to have those. And then with the East African communities, too, we want to make sure everybody's getting the right tools and the right resources and at the right time, too. That's the most important thing.
Exactly. Yeah, so they meet like once a month, and usually we have a training element connected to every meeting that they have. So the training element could be like during COVID, like it was as simple as how to wash your hands really well, and it's just like 5-10 minutes they spend on that. Or it could be like a heavy topic, like, IEPs, individual education plans, and how do you, what do you do with those meetings, and special education, or how to navigate the Medicaid system. It could be those two. So
And that kind of bleeds over then into your special database, because you literally have so many providers and so many different things listed, from IEP advocates or therapies for ABA or whatnot, correct?
Yes. So we have a special needs database. It's free. It's on our website, and you can just click on it. And we have about 7,000 resources listed on there in about 150 different categories. So there's a lot of information on there. So if you're looking for, now it might be a little too late, but if you're looking for like summer camps, or you're looking for therapists, or like you said, ABA therapists, or if you're looking for specialty doctors, we have it listed on there, and they're all, so you can just click on it. It's really easy, or you can just call us and we can send you a list depending on where you're living.
Sitara, is that broken? I was just going to say, depending on where you're living, is that also broken down by like county or city?
County. It's broken down by county. So you can search by county. And usually, we know the services in rural parts of Georgia or outside of Metro Georgia is not as robust. So the chances of getting a provider in some South Georgia, might be hard. But you might want to search the surrounding counties, to see if there's anything available in the surrounding counties. Or if you're like, I can't do this search, this is, too hard for me, there are too many things to click, or I don't have time for it, just call us and one of our staff can just run that report and send it to you. And if that list doesn't work, we can send another list to you. So you don't have to do it yourself. You can just call us and we can provide that to you.
Sitting with me today, Sitara Nayek, the Vice President of Programs at Parent to Parent. When we get back, we're going to talk all about this roadmap to success. Stay with me.
Hi, I'm Lear Gilmars. Thanks to our friends at
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Sitara Nayek, the Vice President of Programs at Parent to Parent, organization, a nonprofit organization that everyone needs to know about here in Georgia. And I see you have this big roadmap to success on your website. Care to share what that's all about?
Yes, and I think that's really cool because it's for parents by parents. And that's the other thing about parent to parent that I wanted to say is almost all of us who work there are parents of children with disabilities. So we may not have walked your exact same shoes, but we are in those shoes parallel with you. And same thing with our roadmap to success. There are a lot of houses on our roadmap. There's the transition house, there's the diagnosis house, there's early intervention house. There's a youth launch pad. So it's basically a website and you can click on these. And so what is cool about it, it's not just information about, okay, here are the different Medicaid programs. But what I write about it is it's pretty cool because we have then stories from families as to how they're using a particular service, or how they've, how a particular thing has helped them. So there are also and tips from families. So it's not just a website. It has all these videos and tips and suggestions and real on the ground kind of information that families are experiencing on how they have utilized some service or some support on there.
It's funny because where I'm at with Lyric is we are kind of in between. We're too old to go to the little kids camps. We're too young to really go to those vocational academies, even though I stuck him in one this year and he learned how to make a bed and cook pancakes and it was awesome. So I like that you have different houses, but yet then I talk to other parents of young adults on the spectrum and they're like, I have to start thinking, like, where do we put them with the transitional houses? I like that there seems to be something for everyone at every stage in a challenge or disability.
Yes. And the other thing is we're not disability specific. So we, you don't even have to, you can just call us and say, I think something is going on with my child. I don't know what it is. So you don't need to have a disability to contact us, but you can definitely go on that roadmap to success and just browse around through that and see. And the thing is, it's available 24/7, 2 a.m. if you're awake. Hopefully you're not, but if you are, and you're wanting to look at some resources, you can just go on that website and just look through. It's a lot of information, so it's all there, and it's pretty. We try to make it in parent-friendly language, so it's as much as possible. It's not too jargony or too lawyer-like or anything like that. So
I love that. And then once, if somebody has a suggestion for a roadmap to success, is Parent to Parent open to adding another house? Because, we didn't even think of that.
Absolutely, yeah. So like we said, when we started that, I think it was, we put that together in 2007 or 2008. So we've had it for a while. So it's seen a lot of changes and iterations. And so we're always open to getting input. Like I said, it's for parents by parents. And so we're always open to getting input on it and finding out what can we do better and how can we make it more accessible and more meaningful. And, kind of that's the whole point, is that we want it to be useful for parents. So if you have a suggestion, definitely call us or email us and we'll be really happy to look at it.
It's also in my experience after doing the show for over a year now. I can't believe it. It's been a year that everything is parent driven. We've reinvented ourselves. Many came out of the world of finance, or many were real estate agents, or many were radio personalities who still are. But hey, I have a voice and let me use it to be a force for good. And I love that organizations like this are parent-driven. When we get back, Sitara Nayek, I want to talk a little bit about the work that you guys do with refugees. Stay with me.
I'm Lyra Gillenwaters. Thanks for checking out this episode of Life with the Spectrum. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll always see the newest episodes when they come out.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Sitara Nayek, who's the Vice President of Programs over at Parent to Parent. Now, I understand that you work specifically and have a special dealing with refugees that come from all over the world. Would you like to tell me what that looks like? I mean, I can only imagine the depth that one must go through just to enter into our country, and then where do you go in the world of disabilities?
Right. Yeah. So we actually work closely with the Department of Public Health, and it's a contract through them that we have a staff person who works specifically with the refugee population in Clarkston area here in Georgia. And she does not, of course, we can't work independently like on our own. So she is connected to a coalition of other organizations that all serve the refugee population. But the niche that we bring is that we know special education. We help families navigate the special education system. And most of the organizations that are working with the refugee population, they know the Medicaid system, they know how to get a child enrolled in school, but they don't understand the special education complexities
the
that are involved.
IEPs,
Exactly.
the IEPs, the SLPs.
Right.
Do you know just off the top of your head about how many refugees Georgia gets in a year?
I don't know that number, but I do know it's
How many people is your person working with?
so she works with on an average, I would say, because it's time consuming. So we do one-on-one, it's a home visit, and we work individually with each family because of all the barriers that they have to overcome. And so I think on an average, maybe like 10 to 15 a month kind of thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big difference though. You have to think about, I mean, how intimidating is it? You know, you're coming for a better life for one reason or another, and then you have a child that you have to worry about. And how wonderful is parent to parent for going in and working individually, case by case, helping people. Hey, you need an IE. Okay, so you're going to need an IP. That's what this looks like. This is what you might need, an advocate. Do you guys also go to IEPs with the refugees, or
So not
case
just
by
with
case?
Yeah, so it's a case by case. We're about 30 staff, and we serve the entire state of Georgia. So, and we know that there are, more than like 100,000 kids who have IEPs across the state of Georgia. So obviously we can't be at every meeting, and we don't call ourselves advocates. We're there to support the parent. What we kind of do is to empower the parent, teach them how to work in that IEP meeting, what their rights are, what does IDEA, which is Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, what does that mean, and what all is encompassed in the IEP, like what are the components of the IEP. So we educate the parents and we help support them. So when we go to meetings, most of the time, we're not doing a lot of the talking because we've coached the parent or we've talked to the parent and we've supported them and provided them the information. We've brainstormed ideas with them prior to the meeting, because the goal is we want the parent to feel confident and comfortable to go to their own meetings and advocate, or be able to do what they need to do that is best for their child at the meetings. So that's kind of how we approach it.
Do you have one specific success story that you can share about working with a refugee family?
So it's an ongoing process. So I think one of the things, this was a while ago, not very recently, but I think this particular individual who had come from another country had never been to school, had never had that experience at all.
How old
He
were
was
they?
18. So
What?
yeah. And so working closely with him, we were able to get him enrolled in school. And because his parents had never had that experience, they did not know that a child with a disability could go to school. So it was kind of that. And then navigating the school system because he had never been in a structured, that kind of structured environment. And not just that the environment is different here, it's also many of these experiences are brand new, and it's brand new for all of us. And then for somebody who might not be able to communicate as we communicate, they have additional barriers as you're entering into these new environments. So
I wish everybody could have just seen me, because my jaw has been literally on the floor for the last couple of seconds you talked to me. I just don't understand how any country would not let kids go to school, or prevented them, or the parents didn't know that child had rights to go to school. I just am like, whoa, flummoxed here. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, people come from all walks of life, from all different places. So, it's, and then the other thing is the American system is very different, and nobody has, obviously they don't know what the American system is because they've never experienced it before. So
Sure.
it's challenging, but it's exciting also. On the other hand, so and parents, it's a learning for them, not just that they have to learn everything else that is new to them, but something that they've never heard of before or known existed. Or why do I have to send my child to school? Those kinds of things. So it's a very rewarding experience, and it teaches us to be a humble when we are working with these families, because they're awesome.
Oh,
The families
sure.
are awesome.
And makes your heart smile completely. When parent to parent goes, does parent to parent have auctions or galas or fundraisers? How do you guys get your money there?
So most of our funding comes from grants that we write. Most are federal or state grants and contracts. But we do have, usually in November and December, we have a fundraising campaign. And so that's when we send out emails to all people whom we served, or people who know about us, or people who support us, who like the work we do. The difference is that our grant funding and our state contracts funding is very specific, like to specific activities. So if we have funding that is not tied to a specific activity, it gives us more room to do some innovative things or think of something different that we've not specifically. Sometimes grant funding does not give you room to do something out of the box.
Right.
So that funding that we raise through our year-end campaign that we usually do in November and December, we use.
Is that an email, or is that a gala, or a live auction, or how does that
we
look?
used to have galas and events and things like that, but we've moved away from that now. So we basically do like a social media campaign, and like email, Facebook, that kind of thing, just to get. Again, we're 30 people, so we're small, and our resources are limited. So we try to see, how best can we use our resources, and we felt like the social media campaign might be a best way to go. So that's kind of how we're doing the year-end campaigns.
Well, when we get back with you, Sitara, I want to talk to you about your social media and website, and we'll find out all the information so people can connect with Parent to Parent of Georgia. Stay with me. Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, the lovely Sitara Nayek. Thank you so much. You're the Vice President of Programs at Parent to Parent. I've really enjoyed speaking with you and kind of learning a little bit more about what Parent to Parent here in Georgia does. Where can people find you?
So you can definitely, we have a website, and then we have Facebook. So, I think at least the people my age might still be doing Facebook. We have a Facebook page, but we also have a lot of Facebook groups. We have, like, our Spanish-speaking families have their own Facebook group, and it's pretty robust. We get a lot of back and forth on that. And then we have a youth transition Facebook group. We have one this is very specific for those who have the Medicaid waiver and are participant directing or self-directing. We have a group for them. So we have multiple Facebook groups also.
Is that listed on the one Parent to Parent Facebook page? They can click into the different groups.
So those groups require permission, because we want to make sure. So, for instance, the Spanish speaking group, obviously you have to speak Spanish to be on that group, because
Sure.
everything is in Spanish there. And then the participant direction, it would make more sense for you to be participant directing to be on that group. Otherwise, the information can seem like you might not be able to understand what we're talking about, because people are already doing that and they know what is going on. So,
Right.
And then we have Instagram and Twitter, those things. So, and then our website, definitely. You can contact us through our website, through our Facebook page.
What is your website?
Oh, it's www.p as in parent, the number 2, P as in parent.ga.org. So it's p2pga.org.
And I highly recommend for folks that are just moving into Georgia, looking for, where can I get resources and tools? This is a great place to start. And also, when you first get that diagnosis, whatever diagnosis that might be, the fact that parent to parent is not diagnosis specific, there are tools and resources. And you said they break it down by county, right?
Right. Yeah. So the other thing that we also do is we can match you. We have about 800 volunteers in our system, and they are parents who are trained to provide emotional support to another parent. And we all know, those of us who've had a child with a disability or special health care need, we know this journey can be lonely and difficult sometimes. So it's nice to have some friends and connect with them. And so we can match you to another parent, based on what your, like, say you're even if you're a seasoned veteran parent and now you're entering into high school and that's all new for you, we can match you with another parent who's had experience of having their child in high school. Or if you're someone has an itty bitty baby and you just got a diagnosis, we can match you with another parent who's had a child with a similar diagnosis. So that way we can provide some emotional support.
And I love that. Yeah, emotional support. This is kind of what worked for me. It may work for you, it may not, but then you can go to the website and find all of the resources that you might need coming up right now in the immediate now, and then also in the future. I love this. Thank you so much for sitting with me today, Sitara.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity, and all our services are free. So check us out.
Even better.
Yeah, just check us out and call us if you have questions.
What's that number?
So it's 800-229-2038.
And it's P2P.
GA.org.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Sitara Nayek, the Vice President of Programs over at Parent to Parent. Thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I told you at the beginning of the show, there's a reason everybody brings up Parent to Parent Georgia. And, with the free trainings, let's say, for instance, there's a group of moms or a group of dads that really want to get educated in one area or another. They will hold a free training session with you. That's huge. Where can you get the latest information absolutely free and do it in a group-like setting and then feel confident and empowered to either make decisions for your family members or go out and make waves of your own? Thank you to Sitara and the wonderful volunteers and people over at Parent to Parent GA. Make sure to find them again, p2pga.org. Thanks again for stepping into Life with the Spectrum with me as we live this crazy journey called life. If there's somebody I need to be speaking with, definitely DM me or comment below, and I would love to get them on a future episode as we continue Life with the Spectrum. See ya.